The Caitlin Clark takeover continues as she continues to destroy ESPN ratings. Absolutely took the hammer and smashed the ratings as always. Not only that, Caitlin Clark appears to be in the top 3 for the MVP award.
Forget everything you thought you knew about the game of basketball. Toss the record books aside, shut down the stat trackers, and call security. Because Caitlin Clark didn't simply shake up the WNBA this season, she completely changed the rules of what seemed possible. We are witnessing a genuine historical phenomenon. A rookie campaign so unbelievably dominant that it has reportedly pushed ESPN's rating systems beyond their limits and left the rest of the league in a state of complete panic. 62 records. Let me repeat that for everyone in the back. 62 separate records have reportedly been shattered by a single rookie. The MVP race isn't simply finished, it has been completely taken over. But here's the thing. With unprecedented earth-shattering success comes an equally intense level of jealousy. While fans are screaming so loudly that arenas are reportedly triggering decibel warnings, one person is watching from the sidelines with pure, unfiltered frustration: Stephanie White. While the basketball world celebrates its new queen, reports and intense locker room whispers claim that Stephanie White is absolutely furious. She doesn't want to see Caitlin succeed. She wants the record-breaking run to end and is reportedly hoping the Caitlin Clark hype train finally crashes. Welcome back to Clark Fever Hoop. If you're ready to call out the doubters and celebrate what many consider the greatest rookie season in sports history, make sure you smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into all the madness. Let's set the stage, because what reportedly happened before the game even began sounds like something straight out of a superhero movie. We have all witnessed loud crowds. We have all seen passionate fans. But when Caitlin Clark walked out of the tunnel, the reaction reportedly went beyond anything normal. Arena officials were literally scrambling for their headsets. The moment the announcer called out number 22, the arena didn't simply cheer. It erupted like a sonic boom. The noise was so unbelievably deafening that it reportedly shattered the arena's all-time noise record. We're talking about decibel levels supposedly comparable to a jet engine taking off right from the front row of the bleachers. Opposing players were seen covering their ears, while broadcast microphones were completely clipping and failing because they simply weren't designed to handle that level of human volume.
Won't be very good. That is why they only show the Caitlin Clark ratings, because while everybody else is running around clout chasing, complaining about this, oh, we want transgenders, oh, we talk about racism, oh, we want to go start a queer league, oh, we want to do this and do that. Caitlin Clark has a real basketball fan base. Her fan base actually watches basketball games, which is why her ratings and viewership reflect that. Take a look at this. For the second consecutive week, ESPN delivered its second most watched WNBA game ever. Okay, Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky on ABC averaged 2.6 million viewers, up 79%. It says WNBA on ESPN networks is up 5%. Caitlin Clark shutting down the ratings, shutting it down, taking it over. MVP on the court, off the court, in the box score, in the television box offices, everywhere. MVP everywhere. MVCC. That's what it is. Okay, ESPN delivered its second most watched WNBA game ever for the second consecutive week. It says this matchup ranks as ESPN Network's second most viewed WNBA game on record, including both regular season and playoff games. The audience was up 79% compared to last year's ABC regular season average.
This wasn't simply an entrance. It was a complete takeover. The fans were sending an unmistakable message to the entire WNBA. Caitlin Clark is the biggest attraction, while everyone else is simply playing a supporting role in her story. That unbelievable response from the crowd was living proof that Caitlin hasn't just transformed the game, she has created an entire empire during her rookie season. And the most frightening part for her critics is that she thrives on this energy. The louder the crowd gets, the more unstoppable her performance seems to become. Then the buzzer sounded. If the entrance felt like a movie, the actual game turned into a full-blown science fiction spectacle. Analysts across ESPN are practically running out of words to explain what Caitlin Clark is doing on the basketball court. She is making plays that seem to completely challenge the fundamental laws of basketball. We are watching her pull up from the logo with a release so quick and an arc so precise that it appears to defy the basic mathematics of the sport. We are seeing her fire passes through multiple defenders with speed and spin that seem almost impossible for a human player. She appears to see the court from an entirely different dimension, making experienced veterans look as if they are moving in slow motion. And then there are the numbers that are genuinely frightening for anyone who isn't wearing a Fever jersey.
Went off for 17 in the third. She goes off in the fourth, just dropping dimes everywhere. 3 straight assists down the stretch. Caitlin Clark happened in the third. He said even more, but we're gonna get to Paige Bueckers because she's not happy either.
I mean, we fought. We had a good fight. We thought for majority of the game. I think we talked about it in the fourth quarter. They just laid it on us. They played more physical. They wanted it more, and that's unacceptable as a team.
She said they was more physical and wanted it more. It's just unacceptable as a team. Paige Bueckers is hot. Hold on.
Majority of the game. I think we talked about it in the fourth quarter. They just laid it on us. They played more physical. They wanted it more, and that's unacceptable as a team. And we got to string together 40 minutes. We don't think being down people is an excuse. We have a really good team and really good players coming off the bench and a deep team. So we want to get these wins regardless.
Thanks, guys.
Paige Bueckers is pissed. Paige Bueckers is hot. Paige Bueckers is hot as fish grease, boy. Let's get back to Jose Fernandez because he's still livid. He's still pissed about the Clark show that got put on him.
Sophie, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Sophie Dumont with the Ballers Magazine. You mentioned, your defense going into a Golden State team that also likes, those backdoor cuts, shooting from beyond the arc. What are some adjustments that you guys have to make going into Golden State?
Well, it's different. I mean, Golden State defensively, they get up in you, they deny, they trap stuff. I thought for 3 quarters the ball moved. We read it, we made extra passes, but in that fourth, we didn't finish around the basket. And, again, the rim protection, the walling up, and the physicality, that's what it came down to in that fourth.
The rim
62 records. 62. Most rookies enter their first season simply trying to adjust to the speed and pressure of professional basketball. Caitlin Clark arrived and treated the WNBA record book like a checklist she intended to complete. Most points, most assists, deepest three-pointers, massive viewership numbers. You name it, she has reportedly conquered it. Because of that, she hasn't merely joined the MVP conversation. She has completely taken control of it. The voters practically have no alternative anymore. ESPN television ratings have reportedly surged to such incredible levels that network executives are scrambling because there simply isn't enough airtime to showcase every Caitlin Clark highlight. She is helping drive enormous attention toward the league's future, bringing millions of new eyes to a sport that desperately needed a superstar capable of changing its trajectory. She continues doing the seemingly impossible night after night, all while carrying a target on her back as massive as a billboard. But this is where the story takes a darker and far more toxic turn. You would think everyone across the basketball world would be celebrating this historic, seemingly physics-defying phenomenon, right? Wrong. Enter Stephanie White.
Last year's ABC regular season average. Okay. Here it says through 22 games, WNBA on ESPN Network is averaging 1.3 million viewers, up 5%. So she doubled what the average is. The average is at 1.3. She doubled it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Caitlin Clark absolutely shutting it down. And then we have to get into this as well. Don't you love to see it? Don't you love to see it? ESPN top 3 betting odds for MVP as of today. You got A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, and Olivia Miles. Now, what will be very, very interesting here is we saw the Indiana Fever go out and do an MVP campaign for Kelsey Mitchell last season. They went and wore shirts. They wore all types of, they got shirts made. They damn near put a Kelsey Mitchell MVP logo in the middle of the court and got rid of the Indiana Fever logo last season. It'll be interesting to see if the Indiana Fever put on the full court press for a Caitlin Clark MVP campaign. That'll be interesting. You know, the Las Vegas Aces are going to have their Asia Wilson campaign going on. The Minnesota Lynx are already doing their Olivia Miles MVP campaign. Will the Indiana Fever do anything for Caitlin Clark's MVP campaign? And let's take a look at this. It says we can dead that 11th best guard narrative. Caitlin Clark is easily top 2 in the MVP race, and she isn't number 2. Take a look here. Caitlin Clark is first in the league in points created. First in the league with points created. She's first in the league in points per game created, meaning points and assists and all, you know what I mean? 40 a game. This is the difference. And look, I get it. Aaliyah, I don't know why you came out.
While the fans are shattering noise records and ESPN is reportedly cashing in, Stephanie White is supposedly watching from the sidelines, overwhelmed with frustration. Sources claim that White has grown tired of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. She allegedly cannot stand watching a rookie completely overshadow established veterans across the league. She doesn't want to see Caitlin lifting the MVP trophy. She doesn't want to watch records 63, 64, or 65 disappear. It is being portrayed as pure, unchecked jealousy. White represents the old guard of the WNBA, an establishment that may feel threatened by a young, flashy, logo-range shooting superstar who arrived and suddenly made an entire generation look outdated. Stephanie White allegedly wants Caitlin to fail. She wants her to run into the traditional rookie wall. She wants to watch Caitlin struggle so she can eventually say, "I told you so." But the reality is reportedly becoming impossible for White to ignore. Caitlin Clark isn't slowing down. She is getting better and more dominant. Every time White or another critic throws criticism her way, Caitlin simply steps back beyond 35 feet, knocks down another 3 in their face, and helps set another television rating record. The establishment is reportedly terrified because they have almost no way to stop her.
Put out an article. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark earns major recognition during WNBA season. Caitlin Clark continues adding to her rapidly growing list of career accomplishments. The Indiana Fever superstar was officially unveiled Wednesday as the cover athlete for the deluxe edition of NBA 2K27, becoming the latest WNBA player to receive one of basketball's most recognizable honors. The announcement comes in the middle of another standout season for Clark and further highlights her influence on both the WNBA and the sport as a whole. NBA 2K revealed the news across social media channels with a simple message that quickly gained traction among fans, quote, obsessed with the work. Caitlin Clark joined San Antonio Spurs superstar Victor Wembanyama, who appears on the Standard Edition, and former NBA MVP Derrick Rose, who was featured on the Ultra Edition, honoring his legendary career. The moment shows off another significant achievement for Clark, who has become one of the biggest faces in basketball since entering the WNBA. Caitlin Clark calls NBA 2K27 cover pretty surreal. Speaking with Bleacher Report after the announcement, Clark admitted receiving the cover honor was something she never imagined as a child. Quote, "It's pretty cool and pretty surreal," Clark said. "As a kid growing up, you're always watching to see who's going to be on the next cover of 2K. She also emphasized what the recognition means for women's basketball. Quote, "I think it's cool to see where the women's game is at this point too. People are getting excited about what the women's game can bring." Clark said she hopes seeing a WNBA player featured prominently in one of the world's most popular sports video games inspires the next generation of young athletes. Quote, "Hopefully young kids love it, and hopefully it can show a lot of young girls too about what they can achieve one day." The Fever guard also reflected on sharing the spotlight with Rose and Wembanyama, calling it an honor she doesn't take lightly. She revealed she first met with Rose while attending a basketball tournament in 7th grade and called Wembanyama one of her favorite NBA players, recalling that the Spurs star once gifted her a game-worn signed jersey that remains one of her favorite collectibles. Damn, they gave Sophie Cunningham a 78 in 2K? I want to see what that 3-point percentage rating's looking like.
Stephanie White can complain, strategize, and criticize as much as she wants, but she cannot change the laws of physics, and she certainly cannot stop Caitlin Clark. The WNBA has officially become Caitlin Clark's league. Stephanie White and the doubters are simply paying rent to exist in it. 62 records broken, the limits of physics challenged, and the MVP trophy looking like it already belongs in her locker. Now I want to hear from the biggest Caitlin Clark fans out there. What is the most unbelievable, physics-defying play you have watched Caitlin make this season? And how satisfying is it knowing that her success is reportedly driving Stephanie White crazy? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and make your voice heard. If you're completely Team Caitlin, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to Clark Fever Hoop for the fastest and most intense basketball updates on the internet.